it's going. Let's make sure it's going. Yeah. So you can delay starting until you feel it's just we're recording.
Well, let's give Matt a couple of minutes, see if he gets here before we start.
There is a way to do it.
Some of these mics are super sensitive, so.
Let's, okay, Dan. Okay. It's 7:05, and let's call the meeting of the Administration Committee, City of Harvard, August 15th, 2024. Call it to order. Roll call, Dan Carncross.
Here.
Lisa Haderlein here, and we do not have a quorum because Matt Perkins and Charlie Gorman are not present. There's no public present, so we don't have to worry about public comments. We will not be voting on any items tonight, but we will have discussion, and then we'll send all of these items just to the city council, and they will be voted on at the council. in a week and a half. So, first item on the agenda, contract with Christopher B. Burke Engineering regarding the lead line replacement funding and project. So who's got this one?
So this is for, previously, council approved the contract for the lead service line inventory, which we are in the throes of right now. This next part is the work that's required to start doing something with that plan once we get that, the lead service lines identified. So Christopher Burke put together a contract for doing that work. So this is submitting for the grant, doing the paperwork and everything associated with it. This is, I believe we've talked about this intermittently here and there.
Yeah.
This is the one where, a low interest or no interest loan for a long term, we would probably, end up qualifying for either an extended term or additional forgiveness because of our hardship. And, we could use our current debt to do the plant as like, hey, we're already making steps to fix things. We already have this debt. So we could definitely leverage that against a hardship. And according to Christopher Burke, we are in a good position compared to other communities when it comes to receiving this funding.
I actually have an update on some of that funding as well from the last time I did the report, which was a little bit more gloom and doom when we were talking in the past. I was able to get a hold of the Public Water Supply Loan Program documentation, the contract for the intended use of the plan. And it's quite interesting reading. But basically, it's run through the Lead Service Line Reduction Act, which is a federally run program, but it's administered through the state. There's $100+ billion allocated, for this project throughout the state of Illinois. Capitalization grant funds for disadvantaged communities are also available in addition to the loan forgiveness. And if, as Rob said, we do qualify, not only would we be eligible for principal forgiveness of up to 80%, the actual interest rates on the term would be 75% of the 30-year bond rate. And that combined with the grant program, we could actually get away with little to nothing as far as what we have to fund if we qualify. That actually, there was two different types of rates. There's a small community rate and there's a hardship rate. The qualification parameters are the median household income has to be less than the statewide average. The unemployment rate has to be less than, or greater than in comparison to the statewide average. And the user charge has to be is a certain calculation in relation to what the household income is for the water rates. So those three parameters look pretty promising. And then as Rob said too, we could qualify as disadvantaged simply by the fact that we have a 30-year, $20 million loan that we're trying to pay off for the IEPA. Yeah. So things are a little bit better than we originally thought when it came to funding and financing, and this was quite an informative document when it came to that. So there's a lot of different things, and the engineers are very experienced in getting those loan applications to read what we need them to read to take advantage of every opportunity we have.
We're certainly not the first community through the gate, so they've
This
got
has been going on a while.
they've seen what works, what doesn't work, and at this point it's probably pretty close to a copy and paste as you can get.
Okay.
So we would be funding this right now, I don't have my glasses, 23,000. Which is in your pack, I believe that was in the packet.
It is.
Yeah.
The amount is $23,924.
Oh, this, okay. This one.
It's buried a little bit in your.
Okay, so that would be the amount we would be funding through the Sewer Water Tap-On Fund, where we have the additional money for the money market set aside for these types of programs. We're also waiting for loan disbursement on the first agreement we signed with Burke to get the lead line service inventory done. I'm waiting for 20 grand on that out of the 40 that we were awarded. So that will go back into that fund to help cover some of those expenses as well. So this won't come out of the general cash fund for sewer water that we operate out of on a daily basis. It's out of the tap-on fund, which is the money market fund.
Okay.
Impressive.
So what's the information on ARPA?
That's, oh,
There's a
are you
page.
looking?
the second page after the agenda is.
That's for, when we talk, yeah, when we talk about the generator. There's a couple of different Burke documents in that packet, and one of them has to do with some generator work at the well, which is separate from what we're talking about with this one. I don't think this one's in there, or is it?
That is not in.
I didn't think it was.
This,
This is in there, it's 23,000.
yeah, this is,
23,020?
yep.
That's,
So if I pull it up on
that's for the generator, I believe.
that's for the generator.
Yes.
I don't think.
I don't
Yeah, I
think
don't
we
think
got
there's
the
anything
lead
you're
lines
talking
in
about
the,
in the packet, 'cause this is for generator.
Yeah, okay.
so, but we can't do anything anyway. We'll have to get approval to sign that agreement at council
Okay.
before we can move forward.
Okay.
And I believe infrastructure's already well aware of all of that
Yeah,
as well.
we've
So,
we've made them aware of it, so they know it's coming, and then, right now, it's just getting all of the ducks in a row. Lead service line inventory, we've got 147 responses, and, probably 20 or 25 of those are us, going out and helping people that either don't know how. But going through the responses today, I was talking to Lou this afternoon, there's people taking pictures of their gas meter, there's people taking pictures of just, they hold up a bottle of water and they take a picture of that, black screens, it's very,
They're misunderstanding or,
yeah.
or some are having a little fun with it. So one of the things to try to spur more activity is I authorized, with consultation from the mayor, of offering a $100 gift card for, complete the survey, get into a raffle for $100 like Visa gift card. We had success when we had a $25 Wild Wings.
Yeah, cross connection survey.
Yeah, and the cross connection survey, we had a tremendous, and that was just
Yeah.
$25. So we're
Yeah.
trying to see if this will get more people. And
Yeah.
the caveat to it is I think they have to submit it accurate. It can't just be, take a picture of the air and say, oh, here it is.
And I should say, as part of that, for those that call and say, hey, can you come help me?
Absolutely.
They should also be eligible. So anyone that gets a survey done,
Yep.
regardless if staff helps or not.
And staff is very willing to come out and help.
Absolutely. I got our BSNA, the utility billing module. I can schedule out, somebody's day down to they're here for a half hour, they're here for an hour, and then I can just, pull it up and it'll tell me when we're busy. So
Nice. Nice. Thank you. Item number 4, budget amendment regarding sidewalk program.
I think everybody is pretty much aware of this as well, because this did go through infrastructure first for them to decide on the amounts and what they were going to allocate everything to. So they basically decided they wanted to take $60,000 away from what we had originally budgeted for sidewalks and add that to some road maintenance, skip patching and that type of stuff.
Rejuvenation?
Rejuvenation, okay. So what I had to do then is reduce the sidewalk expense line item by 60 and then increase parking lot / road maintenance and public works by 60. So it's just basically, it's a simple adjustment, but because we want to make sure that it accurately reflects what projects we're doing, since when we originally budgeted for them, it was all sidewalks, we need to make that amendment. So that will be on council agenda as well.
Any questions, Dan?
No, that makes sense.
Okay, item number 5, budget amendment regarding police pension contributions.
So this is similar, if you recall, we did the same thing last year. When we funded when we took out the bond in 2022, it was for the intent of funding the police pension to the 90% level, which is going to be required by state statute by 2036. Currently, we are funded at 85%. There's different experiences, as the auditors call them, that contribute to whether or not our funding levels remain stable. Last year, we did have to, so basically, there's 2 types of funding recommendations they make. They make the suggested or contributions or what they
Recommended.
recommended contributions, and then they make the alternative contribution recommendation. We do not go with the recommended as we used to because we have a $500,000 a year bond payment we have to pay back. So we try to go with the alternative, which has changed again. It's come in 3% higher than what I anticipated it would be. Just real quickly, some of those experiences that they take into consideration when they're determining what these contribution rates should be is mainly the rate of return they have on their investments, which was lower than expected this past year. And combined with the fact that we have 16 retirees and 16 active officers. So we're 50-50 on our retirees and our active. And we have a lot of newer, younger officers that aren't making as much in salary, so they're not contributing as much at the 9.91% rate as some of the older officers that have since retired and are now collecting on those funds. So all those things combined are driving that alternative contribution rate up. We're also going to be having a conversation about this at tax levy time because we're more than likely going to have to levy more taxes, not only for the police pension, or not only for the bond repayment, but also for the police pension fund. So unfortunately, I was looking back when we first, when the city council first authorized the bond, and we were anticipating that we would save we would reduce an estimated $560,000 over the term of the bond in tax levy, and that we would be funded at 90%. We haven't hit that benchmark, but we're at 84.7. We're doing a lot better than a lot of communities in Illinois. When we met, the Police Pension Board met a couple weeks ago, there are some communities, particularly in the south, that are only funded at 15%. So I don't know what they're going to do. There's been talk that deadline will probably be extended out. So, we have some time. We're in really good shape. We just don't want to underfund the alternative contribution because we want to make sure that we stay at least stable where we're at. So that being said, the pension contribution recommendation for amendment that I'm going to make is to increase it by $50,000. Originally budgeted at $270, and the revised budget would put that at $320. And there's just a couple adjustments I'd have to make on those amendments. Pulling it, the extra 50 from the general fund, transferring it into the police pension fund, and then transferring it out into the pension payments to their downstate investment account.
So where does it come from?
It comes from the general fund,
Right, but.
property
it's-
tax levy.
I know, but is it, what's not getting the 50,000?
What do we, what
Cash on
line item
hand.
do we reduce?
What's that?
Cash on hand,
Oh,
our fund balance.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't take it from anywhere else, it's just part of the fund balance, so we'll just be pulling that from general fund cash. And so we already have the line item for the police pension expense, it would just be increasing that, but not reducing another expense or foregoing any other purchases that we already voted to make or services we already authorized to provide.
Okay.
I mean, we talk about it every year.
Yeah, this is the third
And-
year we've had to do it.
Well, I mean, also the other thing too is like, Dave used to say, it's a moving target.
It
You're always
is.
trying to take your best guess. It could end up being a couple points over, a couple points under. And I mean, you gotta say, you got it pretty close. I mean, it's not that far off.
So the auditors actually were, had we not taken out the bond, this year's tax levy, they were predicting we would be levying $960,000 to $980,000 in pension funds to meet the recommended contribution rate. So it just keeps getting higher and higher. The age of retirement is very low for the police officers by state statute, and they get a substantial amount of money for their, when they are retired, and we have to fund that and then also sustain it.
Right.
So, and unfortunately, it's the law, so we have to comply, and
Right.
it's not getting any lower.
Nope.
Yeah, but I mean, if we hadn't done the bond, we would have been
If we hadn't done the bond right, we would.
in horrible shape.
Yeah.
But
We wouldn't be horrible, but we wouldn't be where we're at today. We wouldn't be close to that 2036 requirement, so
we're close to keeping up.
Yep.
So
we're doing very well. We're doing better than most.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's-
well, and it's a big change just since we've been on the council.
So, I mean,
Yes.
we also
Because of the
have-
bond.
Yes.
Like you said, we also have a larger percentage of our police force is retired.
Mhm.
They were paid earned a higher, salary because they earned it through training and everything else. So, I mean,
Right.
it's,
In 1998, I was on the pension board when I was on the police department when we had one retiree.
Yeah.
And the rest were active. So,
it,
it's just the way it is.
yeah, it's
Right.
gonna happen. There's
Yeah.
nothing you can do. So,
Okay, so that will be on city council agenda as well.
Okay, thank you.
nice work keeping up with it at least.
Yeah.
I think she's lost some sleep over it.
I have lost some sleep over it. I need to meet with the,
Yeah.
next couple of months, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
but-
Thank you. Okay, item number 6, ARPA funds info.
So this is just an update. Back in February, I gave you an update, instead of going through the play-by-play on it. I'm sorry, I was thinking capital improvement, disregard that. The ARPA funds update would be the spreadsheet that's, the mayor has up on the screen. This is just broken down by expense and reporting year, starting when we received the funds in '22 and how we allocated those, spent them, and reported them. So basically, where we're at today is we're working on the Howard Street main extension. And I back up, most of these, actually all of these projects were capital improvement plan projects. So we were able to, other than the revenue replacement for some lost revenue at the beginning during COVID,
Right.
the majority of this has gone to those capital improvement projects. So currently, we're working on Howard Street main extension, which we've got 25,000 allocated to that. We're having some, it's having some delays. I'll let Rob explain
Yeah,
that.
this is, so we sent out for a few of these, I reached out to 4 or 5 contractors now, waited a week or two, because this was, we all had to do permitting, get everything through the IEPA. The IEPA takes the maximum amount of days to approve anything, so it was like 90 days from the time of the engineering, and then because of everything that went with that, it was like, well, the water main's too close to a sanitary connection, so we want the sanitary made out of 25 foot of, water main quality pipe, and so now all of that, like even I had a Bigfoot excavating or Rowan excavating now with Bobby Trepanier, and he's like, what is this? Like, this is what we're being told to do. He's like, all right, well, and I talked to the estimator, and he's like, okay, this, I'm like, put it, this is the plan for the IPA, we need it just like that. A couple of guys, a couple of companies just dropped out. They're like, yeah, we're not interested, so I'm gonna poke them again tomorrow. I poked them late last week, so it's been a week, so I'm gonna reach out to them again tomorrow and say, hey, where are we at on this? What's the next step? Because we need to get this expended and get it wrapped up.
So that's already been committed for that expense. We also replaced the pump and pit out at Milky Way Park to improve the bathrooms out there for the activities that we've seen increasing, particularly with soccer. So we did spend $29,500 on that. The remaining balance that we have of $323,199.31 under the to be determined column, we have to commit in the system, the treasury system, by December of 2024. So I have to physically go in and commit that. Piggybacked off that, I did then provide the capital improvement plan update. And this is what I had given you back in February. We have made some more progress, and actually I'm really happy with, everybody has really pitched in, and I think we've made some real progress on this. We started this plan in May of 2022, so we're in year 3. Anything that you see in green is, all the highlighted items is what I've changed from the last report. Anything in green is completed, anything in blue is in progress, and then the red is incomplete. Some of them are ongoing yearly projects that we've been able to implement. Rob has actually taken a lot of the televising burden off of our hands by purchasing with these funds the televising equipment so that it can be done in-house, so we don't have to contract out for that. Ann was able to complete the property acquisition. 2 of the houses went through private sale, but we just picked up the 3rd. yearly ongoing GIS system. Rob's working with Seabell on that to keep that,
Well, Trotter.
I'm sorry,
and Seabell.
Trotter, yes, sorry, wrong engineer. Lou has been very, very diligent in the OSLED grant and getting those parks and recs things knocked out as much as possible. Some vehicles, all of our road programs, the different road programs we have going in progress. And not all of these are ARPA fund driven, but some of these in red could be ARPA funds applicable. However,
Signage would be applicable?
not all of them, some of them would be, yeah. The majority of the, would be like the road, the main extensions and the tie-ins and the
right.
looping and all that.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Any road work, the infrastructure, right?
Infrastructure, right.
So those are some things that you could consider in applying what's left of the ARPA funds. However, as we move to item number 7, this is where the administrator and myself have talked and are going to strongly recommend we apply the remaining funds. And that's for the well 9 generator. So, Lou, do you want to talk about that one?
Well, are we done with this line item? Because we can just go to that.
Yeah, it kind
segue
of goes
into
into,
7.
unless there's any questions on
I was
this.
reading ahead, so I kind of know where you guys are.
Yeah.
going with this basically.
I mean, I want to put all the options out there, but we're going to have some suggestions that
Yeah,
we
so-
we feel are priorities, so.
So you move on to 7.
And so the IEPA has set the IEPA has set some new standards that require the wells to have a backup generator attached to them. Right now, none of them do. We've identified well 9 in order to, which can serve the best purpose to the city, to get a generator.
What kind of generator is it? Just a natural gas?
I believe we're looking for a natural gas one.
Just
So
curious.
Originally, Jim Grant had, I think last year, gotten a couple of quotes
Correct.
from the IEC company that does our well work out there and at the plant, or not our well work, I'm sorry, our generator work. And also services our generator here at the PD. Just to kind of give us an idea of the pricing, and we're looking at around 200,000, but since the IEPA came in and kind of forced our hand in moving forward with this, Lou and Jim have determined that this is going to require an engineering study to determine what the best generator is for that well.
Anybody, so
Makes sense.
a little back on that, included in this is also the switching gear. So that it automatically switches over to the backup generator if it senses that the power's been out for too long. So that's included as part of this engineering proposal.
Better safe than sorry.
And then assistance with doing a formal bidding process. Right now, it's just been phone calls and emails. It's our hope to try to get a generator cheaper overall. That is the $23,924 that was mentioned before as far as doing the engineering services through Seabell.
Is that just their standard
It seems
engineering
like it.
cost?
It seems
Yeah, it's
like it
close at our rate.
So, and this has already gone through the infrastructure committee as the notes show in your
Yep.
packet. And it could be as high as $400,000. The 323 will go a long way to getting us there, and the 323,000. Of that, if we pulled the 23.9 out, we can have contracting, or engineer contract services pulled out of ARPA funds. So that will leave roughly $300,000 to go towards the generator. Now, we are still in the process through a different IEPA grant that's geared just for McHenry County, but that is still a long ways off. This is more of a requirement now, not just to follow IEPA, the current IEPA standard, but it's also good for as far as emergency management planning. So that if a serious event happens here, we do have a source to keep fresh water flowing.
The IEPA regional manager that Jim Grant's been working with has come back with a deadline of October 6th to have the generator installed, completed and installed. We're not going to hit that deadline, but time is of the essence as far as getting the ball rolling. He's got a really good relationship with him. He did talk to him again, I believe, last week, and we were told as long as we can show we are moving forward and get this done by the, as close to the deadline as possible, fall, then, so if we get it, the engineering study done, we get it, out for bid, we get the project going, we're going to, be acting in good faith with the IEPA terms. So we'll need to get this approved to move forward in the council meeting as well. It'll be very important before the end of the month.
Yeah.
Because I'll need that time.
And we have, our generators that we have now, we did end up getting that set up on a maintenance agreement.
Yes,
The one, yeah,
the
For
portable.
Yeah, because we didn't have one set up, and then.
you're talking about the backup generator for the police side of this building.
Yes,
Yes.
because we had a maintenance agreement on that. So have we looked into doing I guess we would want to look into maintenance agreement on these ones as well.
Correct, but that would be, and you can potentially even add it to the existing, it'll be a slight bump up.
That's what I was thinking is it would be logical to stick with the same company,
Correct.
probably get you a little bit of a break because you're covering more machinery and they're
We've
doing
already
the same.
paid for them to come out here, sort of thing.
Exactly. So when you get that information, because obviously you want to get an idea before we set everything up, I'd love to
Correct.
just hear that.
And as we get more backup generators to support our critical infrastructure, that would be the case that we would continue to add or even go out to bid in order to have it all covered, if it gets to be too much price-wise.
Yeah.
And that's something that goes back to we want to start doing more preventative maintenance so that things are operating accordingly.
Yeah, because our big thing was we were getting all this new equipment, protecting everything, and we had it, but then it was like, okay, kind of missed that little bit of figure. So we spent all this money on generators, and then when we go to use them, they just go poof. So cool. All right.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, thank you. On to item number 8, recommendations to use surplus funds to purchase used truck. Rob?
Good evening. For this one, with Jim Grant having an extra body over there, they are at times without a vehicle. Especially when they're doing stuff like hydrant flushing where it requires 2 vehicles and 2 people, it leaves 1 vehicle at the plant for the other 3 staff.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we had discussed with the moving around of the equipment for the gator to be used by the administration for downtown plowing and sidewalk maintenance, that there would be, funds given to the utility fund for that gator, as well as the proceeds from the surplus sale of the tractor, self-contained breathing apparatus, and a couple other items, amounting to just over $18,000. I've been kind of watching the auctions. It's possible to get something. Ideally, we'd like to get something over there that would help in operations, either a used crane truck or something with a service body. But crane trucks and service bodies, it's sort of hen's teeth to find them in good condition for that price. But they are out there. But having pre-approval, and Jim Grant and I have talked about this, having pre-approval to expend the funds if we do find something is better to do than to find something at auction and it needs to be done within 2 weeks and we're rushing to try to figure it out. So.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah, I have no problem with that.
Okay.
I mean, we gotta be ready.
Yeah.
And a lot of stuff can change in the next 6 months when it comes to vehicles.
Absolutely.
Especially if rates start coming down,
Yeah.
you're gonna start seeing people dump vehicles left, right, and center.
So on city council, what action will we need to take on this? Just the approval of the truck purchase, correct? Because the
Right.
gator's
To
already been
$18,000.
approved.
Should not to exceed a certain
Yeah.
dollar
Exactly.
amount.
And then then with the understanding too, that once a vehicle has been purchased, if it falls in between, say, a committee meeting or after the next council meeting, that it would be reported as soon as possible.
I mean, we may not get one, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could
Right.
be weeks, it could be months.
Okay.
Thank you. Number 9, declare surplus property. 1990 Ford F800 dump truck.
It's one of our finest vehicles.
Yes, it is.
Getting rid of the relic. It's fun.
Is it like an antique? Does it get?
It could
can
get
we
antique
maybe
plates
get-
on it. It is over 30 years old.
Yeah.
Or over 25 years old. It's a big old gas stick shift Ford F800 that will pop your eardrums because something wrong with the carburetor. So if you start it up in the shop and you're trying to do something with it, Clayton one time tried to. It needs a touch, and it backfired on him, and it kind of wakes up the shop. I got it out of the shop and down the way. We've de-decaled it, given it a rinse. It was formerly our asphalt truck, so it's covered in asphalt. So it shines up enough that we're going to roll it across the auction block, and
Okay.
maybe somebody needs a little project for a little something for honeydew stuff at home.
It's not orange, is it?
Wow.
Nope, white with a green bed.
I would call that an A-team special. Just need just the steel boilerplate just welded to the sides of it.
Just a little spit shine, a little TLC. It'll be good for years for somebody other than us.
The zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
Oh, man, yeah, that's the truck you want.
Yeah.
right?
All right.
Oh, man, okay, item number 10, House Bill 3144, discussion, grocery sales tax.
Yes, so I'm not sure if you're aware, the General Assembly passed
Yeah,
the repeal effective January 1st of 2026 of the 1% sales tax. That will affect us by about, I think it was like $100,000.
Roughly, give or take, a month.
So
Or
a year.
Yeah, a month would be great.
Oh, my God.
That's our 1%
Okay,
right
let's just turn
there.
the lights off and go home at that point. Like, we're done.
So IML was able to negotiate and get this put in the bill that cities, whether they're home rule or non-home rule, have the opportunity to pass the 1% sales tax on groceries. So essentially just replace it with our own.
From a state sales tax to a city sales tax.
Right.
Oh, local,
On
okay.
the same food products.
Okay.
And so that way, and plus the Department of Revenue doesn't get an administrative fee out of this. So it will be just returned to us as if we were getting it anyway. In order to get this done, as we learned with the 1% sales tax for road construction, there is a time issue to get the ordinance passed and then submitted to the state so that it's filed and they can start collecting appropriately. So
We can just pass this. We don't need.
you just need a.
We don't
that's
We don't need a
I
referendum.
require referendum.
Right.
Ooh, and it's October 1 of next year.
Correct, that would be the deadline if we wanted to start collecting
The
January
absolute
1st.
Okay.
So we should look at that in the spring, for sure.
So if we
and
do
get
it,
that-
if we do it wisely, there's no
Loss.
loss and there's no gap.
So if you
Right.
pass it. in the-
Nobody really notices anything. It just
If you-
life doesn't change.
If you notice on the draft version I handed out, there's a highlighted section that says either April 1st or October 1st. If we pass this in the spring, or if the city council passes it in the spring, we can meet the April 1 deadline and make sure there's no errors or anything, so it can be collected then. Otherwise, we would have to make sure it gets done before the October 1st deadline to be collected.
We would have time to amend anything if we hit it by the April and
Correct.
get it back in before October and not lose out on any of that revenue. We pick up right in January of '26 when the state cuts it
Yeah, when the
off.
state goes away.
And as this administrator has learned, being new here, at the time that the 1% was passed by the voters, they are very particular on their ordinances, so if there is an error, we still have time to get it, to correct it and get it done.
Yep. That's fine.
We now have a really good contact at the state that helps us with that, though.
We do?
We do.
Oh, yay.
Yay.
Well, they brought this up originally when we were at the McCog meeting
Yeah,
a few
they
months
did.
ago.
Yes.
Over at the wharf. They warned us about it, so, I mean, I don't know, it's kind of, if I could call it my own name, I would just call it the Up Yours bill.
Well, it doesn't affect the
whatever.
state, it affects municipalities.
Well, it allows the state to look like heroes, but then
Right.
force everybody else to look like villains, is all it does.
That's right. because the state wasn't getting this money.
No,
anyways.
we were getting
Yeah,
it.
it's just,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
basic, it's just saying, we gave you a tax break that you don't really get. and Now we're making everybody else look like they're raising your tax when nothing's changing.
You're right.
It's just, it was
It's just changing authorities, right?
it's an election year, you know.
And
Yeah.
the listserv, the administrators, listserv has been lighting up this last week as far as everyone, okay, what's your city doing? Because they're just concerned about looking like the
Yeah,
bad
I-
guys.
Pretty much everybody is gonna have, and pretty much everybody's gonna end up doing the same thing. I don't see anybody not doing it.
Exactly, because how do you eat that amount of money? I mean,
Yeah.
you know, it's, that's
Smaller
significant.
communities, we depend on that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's
Well, I
important.
mean, even
Exactly.
the city of Chicago.
Right,
I mean,
yeah.
my God, you're talking probably,
right.
what, tens of millions of dollars, if not more?
Mhm.
So, I mean, yeah,
I think it was McHenry or Woodstock that was looking somewhere between $900 and $1.2 million that they would lose out on.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So along with that, House bill information that we put in the packet, I also included a update on the sales tax collection overall, not just the food, but,
Yep.
and, Alderwoman Haderlein had mentioned, I think at the last meeting, that Dave used to provide some more in-depth information on the sales tax. So I went ahead and just included some spreadsheets that I keep track of on my end, just to see how things are trending over time. The first one is the collection of strictly our additional 1%. It would be page 1, Mayor. And if you notice, we collected May, this past month, May's distribution, and it is higher. It has gone up. So we're trending in the right direction. But as I noted, before we get too excited, some of that could be past due taxes, or some businesses get extensions on their filing.
Okay.
So we'll have to see how that continues to trend through the rest of the year. Sales tax in general was up as well, so. Then page 2 is the sales tax by SIC code, which is the state industry codes, broken down over 2023 and then the first quarter of 2024. And if you notice the green, that's the non-home rule collections, so the additional 1%. And that gives you a good idea of what we do and don't get included in that 1% based on the differences between the baseline 1% and then the additional. So it kind of, tells you what does and doesn't qualify. And then the third page is just a breakdown over the last 4 years. And then I included page 4. On page 4, these are the codes. So if anyone was ever interested in seeing what fell in what category, how the state breaks all that down, when you're looking at the merchandise, food, drink, eat, apparel, this is a list of what they include in those, so you can kind of get an idea of what's selling around here and what categories are reporting at what level. So just kind of a snapshot of what you could find, and this is all available on the state site as well. It's just in different places, so I just pulled it all into one place.
that's really interesting.
Yeah.
That's really cool data.
Yeah.
Because we can really see what areas of the economy our town is doing well in, and areas that we
Right.
don't necessarily have much, and we can try to target those businesses to bring that up.
So as you can see, we don't have a whole lot of apparel, a whole lot of furniture.
Furniture.
Manufactured goods. Walgreens and Walmart must be doing pretty good in drug sales. Automotive is kind of flat, I think.
We need some more car dealers.
Yeah, we need a couple
Yeah.
more to car dealerships.
We kill it with those.
It would be nice if we had, like, if you're listening, car dealers, a Toyota maybe? Toyota
Ram.
dealership?
Maybe
Kia, I don't know.
I would say a competing auto group.
Yeah.
Since both of ours are
Yep.
from the same group. But
Well,
we have-
actually, I don't believe they're
They're
in the
different.
same group anymore. I think
Yeah.
they've separated, so, yeah.
the last year?
About 2 years ago, I think
Oh,
now.
wow, okay, I didn't know that. That
It's
would
been
make-
a while.
Used to be the home run auto
Yeah, it
group.
was Home Run Auto Group for a long
I think they've
time.
separated.
Oh, that's news to me, okay.
Very cool. Thank you.
We need more hardware stores.
Well, if you can get Menards to come out here.
When I
I'd
first
love
moved
Menards out
here,
here.
we had 2 more than we have now.
We had 2 downtown on Air Street.
I know.
Was it probably True Value? and
No,
Macy's,
there were 3.
Oh, Roaches, that's
Yeah, there
right.
was
There was
Roaches.
3 on Air
Yeah.
Street, yep. There was a little one,
Yeah.
it was a the True Value was Ace.
Yep.
Then there was a littler
A little
one,
one,
and then
and
The
then
Ace
Roaches.
was
True Value, yes.
Yes, yes. And Roaches was awesome. I
Yeah,
mean,
that was,
They had,
they had a big place, yeah.
and they had everything, anything that you wanted to find was in there somewhere.
I bet you Menards in our area, right in our.
Well,
area do
we're
well.
pretty close to Woodstock and McChesney Park for Menards.
Delavan, isn't there
Yeah, and
something?
Delavan
Lowe's
has,
and Delavan.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
it's the
well,
same
Delavan
market.
has a Lowe's. Lake Geneva has a Home Depot.
Right.
Lake
It's the
Hills
same-
has Home Depot.
It's the same
Yeah.
argument as Aldi's,
Yes.
but at the same time,
If you want that kind of business, we need to grow.
Yeah, you need
but
more
I could see it, I could see
population.
with a little,
Yeah.
I could see one right where we're at because there's such a gap. We're like the.
Which I'm just thankful we have True Value here because
That's
if
true.
you need something,
Yes.
they're available.
Chad has saved my bacon many a time.
Yeah,
Yes, they have.
well, and Tractor Supply.
Oh, and I was gonna note on, page, I think it was 3, in the green, that there was a typo on that. What we collect for the, non-home rule under manufacturer, it's not 24, it's 2,000.
Okay, I was wondering. I'm like,
Yeah, there's no way we're collecting more, not
Yeah.
less, so, yeah.
Okay.
And I had that noted and I forgot to mention
Oh,
that,
so
so.
there's should be a decimal right there.
Take the 4 out, so it should be 2,842.
Oh, this 4.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it changes that bottom line slightly,
Yeah.
just slightly. I'll make a revision on my end so the next report is accurate.
Thank you. Okay, item 11, set monthly committee meeting time frame. And as Deb reminded me, we already have the September admin committee meeting set on September 17th with the auditor.
Yep.
So
Be after that one.
after that, so starting in October.
So Charlie took the second
So,
Monday.
yeah, I was just gonna read
I
off.
took
You've-
the second Tuesday.
You've got the tree board of the first Wednesday, the planning and zoning the first Tuesday. You've got community development took the second Tuesday, infrastructure took the second Monday. Parks has got the third Monday, which leaves the third Tuesday or the third Thursday left.
Okay, it's
Preferably
on the
not
third
Thursday.
Wednesday.
What about the 3rd?
We
Yeah,
can't
what
do
about
Wednesdays, right?
Because
Well,
the third Thursday is library.
So
Yeah.
Wednesdays are kind of out right now because we've been using the community room for parks programs.
Third Thursday, library. Is that why we needed this at 7?
No, we needed this at 7 because I had to attend a Woodstock
Woodstock.
committee
Okay.
meeting that went last.
So third Thursday is totally out.
There's also,
No, third Thursday is library.
What about second
But-
Thursday?
What's that?
Second Thursday.
Well, one of the things we had talked about was wanting to move.
Oh, yeah, after
Well,
After.
just in case we have
Right,
budgetary
in case
things.
they're
If we don't have
Yep,
any,
yep,
then
yep.
it
Yeah,
doesn't
then it
matter.
doesn't
but-
matter, but if we're gonna set a regular time.
Third Thursday's pushing it for packet.
I was gonna say that as well, so there's the third Tuesday.
We'd give her a couple extra days.
Third Tuesday.
Well, I mean, yeah,
I have a land conservancy meeting that's already on the third Tuesday.
How long are the Wednesday programs going into the fall?
we can always meet in another room too.
Yeah,
So
we
that's
don't
not the
have
end of
to.
the world. I mean, we've
That's
got
true.
the conference
Yeah,
rooms.
I
We
mean,
can always meet in there. I don't care.
In the
I mean,
conference room.
technically, we can still even wall this off, and as long as we have like, anyway, we could figure it out. If you
Yeah.
wanna do the third Thursday, or the
Wednesday.
third Tuesday, Wednesday.
I would say third Wednesday. Then
Third
I mean,
Wednesday.
it stinks because it's a full week, I know, and that's a lot for staff to do 3 nights in a row, but at least then we get everything out of the way, and we can always move the meetings.
They don't have anything on the third Tuesday, so it's
No.
just Monday and
Or the third
Wednesday.
Thursday, so
Or the
it's
third
only that.
Thursday, so it's only two, which
mean,
isn't any worse
What would
than
be
the
easier, we do the
threes.
third Wednesday or the third Thursday?
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Because we would have the extra day for Jeanette and Lori to get the packet out for council.
Tuesday,
Then I'm thinking just do that, just do the third
Wednesday.
Wednesday, just so that way it's broken up and.
Yeah, 'cause she walls this off for classes, right?
Well, we can put a break in that schedule, because that's still,
Okay,
something we can shift around.
It seems like we could just skip a week for that.
yeah. Or put her on a Thursday during that week.
Yeah, something
Something.
might work.
Okay.
We'll work with the.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather not inconvenience, I mean, it's easier for the handful of us to move than to
Yeah,
uproot a class and
exactly. Yeah.
reschedule
I mean,
with them, so
there's other
we
places
literally
to
just
meet,
go in
yeah.
other parts.
She's working on other locations too, so it
Yeah,
could
so
be
in
that
the
she can
meantime,
move.
we can, it's easier, I mean, we literally just move our stuff, so. it's not
Yeah,
a big deal.
exactly. It's not a big deal.
Wouldn't be the
I
first
agree.
time.
So, okay, third Wednesday. Any new business?
Strategic vision is next, right?
Oh, strategic vision, sorry, I kind of,
If there's anything to go over.
yes. Strategic vision.
I don't think there's anything in the
We
back.
had,
There was not.
We'll be right back.
Uh-oh. Okay.
because we had our summary of tasks that we went through.
Oh, yeah, I saw that
In
in your
our-
packet.
Yeah, we did that in our meeting, we just kind of
Yeah.
basically like prioritized them 1 through 5 kind of thing and timeline, so.
Yeah.
Did you
works
guys prioritize the revised list, or I guess I could look at the packet. One of the things that I'm finding, so I'm not really big on technology, and I've relied on Lori tremendously over the years, which I need to stop doing, because she's going to be leaving, and Jeanette's, got her hands full. So
Yeah.
I've been trying to, find more things on my own, going through the websites and that kind of thing, and our website is really hard to maneuver through.
Yes, it is.
There's things in different places, and it's hard for me, but I've talked to other people that know how to maneuver through technology, and it's just, so I think that might be a suggestion for a priority is to, and I know Charlie is getting on that too,
Right.
is to maybe put that at the top of the list to get, the Civic Plus, is that who we use, Civic Plus?
Yeah.
They, we're gonna have to be budgeting again this year for, each year we have to, pay their subscription fee.
Right.
I know that they have different levels of subscription and, some design things and some different things they do. It's something we could start looking into and, put on the radar as a priority for the budget to increase some of the
Yeah.
funding for that, to kind of get it, not necessarily updated, but just more user-friendly, I guess.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we've talked about that too. I mean, there's been a lot of discussion that Charlie's brought up about,
Yeah.
how we house our information on the website as far as like looking up, documents and searching and getting, like how intuitive it is. And I agree. I mean, I routinely go into municipalities' websites to look up, code and that kind of
Oh,
stuff and GIS systems and things like that. And the more user-friendly the websites are, the faster we get to that information. If they're not, then it's like, okay, I can't find what I'm looking for, now I'm calling the city and hoping that somebody answers the phone and is polite and has more than 30 seconds to talk to me. It's a lot of nonsense. And
The other thing we're doing too is with community development and the, SureLink, is it SureLink?
Surf.
No, the, the stuff Donovan's doing with the permits, SureLink, right? Is it SureLink?
I've now.
You know what I'm talking about. And
Yeah.
then Stacy's working on Rec Tech and integrating that with Invoice Cloud and having them be able to pay through our website. Donovan's working on that Shallert presentation, and that's going to be going through the website. So the more and more we're doing things, more programs and more payments and more, economic development outreach, the easier we want it to be for users too.
If the I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, the more we can provide self-service
Yes.
to constituents for those kind of services, pulling permits and other kind of things, signing up for programming, because, we have limited staff, so, and
Yeah.
we're making it, and younger people are more, internet savvy, and many of them prefer to utilize,
Right.
the internet to do those kind of things, so, we need to upgrade our game to
Especially if
be
they
able
can
to
do it from their phone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and you can do it, you don't have to be doing it during city hours. That's the big thing is, if the
Right.
office is closed, and you're getting in here at 6, 7 o'clock, there's nobody here to
Yeah.
file your permit,
Right.
and it's like, okay, you can just submit it online.
Lou, we were talking about possibly putting the website reconfiguration as priority for their strategic plan bullet item
Yeah,
to budget for
I
that.
gathered that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My comment that I was gonna say is, I know we, have already discussed the, $323,000 from ARPA. If that we were able to find the generator, cheaper, or something that, to get a good website, to do all that, plus make it ADA, compliant, will run you about $15,000 to $20,000. And if there's
Is
a
that
way
yearly?
What's that?
That's a yearly fee
That
or
is
just for
to have
the,
it built and
Yeah.
up and running. I don't know about yearly.
I mean, what do we
fees.
pay now for just maintaining it annually?
I can tell you that.
In all
I don't think
reality,
you could use ARPA funds, though, Scott.
I don't
'Cause it's
know
ADA compliancy.
for, possibly if we went that route, we
Really?
could.
Oh, interesting, okay.
that ADA compliant footnote on it.
Yes.
It's like ADA compliance. It's like, we need a toaster, make sure it's ADA compliant.
Yes. So Lou, question, I know we've talked about this in the past, but the whole idea of potentially getting the ordinances codified?
That's, I've got an old contract on bid from Muni Code. I want to go back to them and see if they have any changes and updated, so
Okay.
at the next meeting,
Okay,
I should be able to introduce that.
okay. Because, yeah, that would be a nice thing
Yeah.
to add to.
I
Yeah,
have read,
there's some internal controls, and the mayor and I
Yeah.
were talking briefly earlier
Yeah.
today that there's some internal things we need to do, like the Muni Code, making the website more user-friendly.
Right,
And items like that.
I have that grouped in under dues and subscriptions, so it's within several other items. I
Okay.
want to say it's around 4,000
Okay.
a year,
Okay.
but I'll find out and I'll send you an
Okay.
email.
That's what made
It's not huge. We
Yeah.
don't
Right.
pay a lot. We paid the initial to have it built, but yearly we don't pay a lot.
Right.
And I know there's a lot of other things we can be doing through Civic Plus based on their tiers.
okay.
So,
Well, and depending on how we build it,
Yeah.
there's always the possibility that it's built in a way that is more user-friendly to update.
Right.
So we could potentially have the ability to make changes to it and update it ourselves at a reasonable level.
Right, right.
And I think that would benefit us too, because then we can make the minor changes we need here or there
Right.
without, outside of the infrastructure of the website, so.
Yeah, right.
and I
It
know
just-
Charlie's done some extensive research on that. He
Yeah.
spent a lot of time
Yeah.
looking at different things, and
Yeah.
actually, at one point, Dave gave him access to the website so he could go in and look around at some different, he's pretty savvy with that. so.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of stinks that we kind of have to hit all of these different, like, network type things all in one angle, like, all at one time, instead of, like, being able to, like, this year let's do this piece, this year. We
Right.
kind of have to do it all at
Yeah, it's kind of
once.
piecemealed, and it needs to
Right.
be.
Yeah, we need
Yeah,
to
you
kind of
need
make
to
it all at
do,
once.
make it comprehensive.
So
Right.
this is
Yeah.
Broomfield, Colorado. This is their website that they use. It's a lot more user-friendly than what we currently have. I use this as an example because Broomfield is one of the few cities that every 2 years to 3 years, they are already updating their website, so it's always fresh. There are also features in there that we can do as far as the meetings themselves. And if you get a chance, I would suggest that you go there to the website, look under the council minutes. It's very interesting. They have video replay on certain sections of the agenda as well. And all that is to make it more user-friendly. And I believe their video now also does closed captioning. Yeah, which again, it goes a long way towards our ADA compliancy. as well as just being more engaged with the public. The other thing is, and it's been a while since I have looked at it, but not only does it do closed captioning, but I believe it already does the translations. So they must have just got done updating this, because I don't remember seeing this one.
I mean, I like that you can just like go right in and you've got, online bill pay, you can even do like that. You can do motor vehicle registration. I mean, those are all things that if we were able to do those through our website, that's huge. I mean, even just getting like motor vehicle registration, doing your sticker right there, would be great instead of, having to go to the dealership during hours or come into the office during hours and you're doing it, everything in person. Like, it'd be great to be able to just knock that stuff out.
So yeah, I didn't mean to hijack your priority list. I just
No,
was thinking about the
I'm
other
glad.
day that I would mention it because it was something that I experienced myself that
Yeah.
was a little difficult.
Well, we've been talking about it for a long time and
Yeah.
this outside, other than driving into town and seeing our water towers and what we physically look like, this is your first,
Right.
this is people's, businesses and
I do
everything else.
like
This is
that.
their first impression of the city. And it looks good.
Yeah.
But it looks good and it works okay, but we could do it a lot better.
But it's also, on our side of it, it's not very user-friendly.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
update. The other part to it is, it looks great here, but it was more designed for laptops, desktops. If you pull it up on your phones, it's.
It's
Terrible.
Exactly, yeah.
Which, name me a person that can go more than, 4 hours without their phone?
Right.
I'd really like to meet that person.
Yeah.
Well, and most people I know, even people that are, I'm going to say like more closer to retirement age, a lot of them don't use computers anymore.
No.
They just sit on their couch and with an iPad or a tablet and do everything through tablets. I mean, I've seen a lot of people that just don't have a home laptop or computer. They do everything on the tablet.
I think this one is 10 years old?
No, we did it in 2017 or 2018.
2018, I believe.
2018. I will say, this search box is very powerful. So if you're
Yes.
looking for things, the search box, and that's available on your phone too.
Yeah.
There's a drop-down menu for it on your phone, but the search box can get you to just
It
about
does.
anything you want.
And I
Yeah.
use that the most.
Yeah, I've used
But
that too.
I've gotten,
but-
I've got to learn, I spend a lot of time here under the government page, but there's, this drop-down menu, you can find a lot of stuff too. There are things that, because I'm in it often, I kind of know where to go. But, there are other parts that, we don't use a ton. And so I think there's definitely room for improvement here. I do like that we have these boxes where we can advertise things, and this changes often. Sometimes it's code red, sometimes it's, whatever activities we've got going on. And then, of course, across the top, we do have, these links for different kinds of things too that show up, which you could also find by using the search box. But, there is room for improvement for sure.
I think just if we can get it to a point where it's a little bit more self-service by the staff, that they can get in there and make more impactful changes as needed, and it's a little bit more intuitive, I mean, I think that'd be great.
And just like any other government item, we had audits, doing IT service contracts, websites, typically 3 to 5 years, the technology or the
Oh, yeah.
pricing has changed so much, we really should be going out there.
Yep.
Which, under new business, the one item I would like to bring up is if you go to our bids, documents and bids, you'll see that we have 4 RFQs, RFPs that are out for auditing services, internet service, health broker, and the compensation study. So those are all out there now.
Well, and if we get the fiber agreement through and get that done and the city's up on fiber, that'll open up some of our capabilities web-wise. We might be able to host more stuff directly if we wanted to. in theory.
Well, we'd like to be able to do video up there, so, our smiling mayor here can have like the State of the City weekly address.
Weekly?
I didn't hear a no, so.
He's
But
not
so
facing
we
you
can-
either,
We
so.
can do more, what's that?
He's not facing you either.
Yeah.
Weekly fireside chats with Mayor Mike.
But, because one of the other things I want to do is more like a introduction of what each department does, so people understand better. I mentioned this a year ago about doing like an employee of the month, where like, say, Rob here will do like, all right, this is what Public Works is, or welcome to Public Works, and give a little video tour. This is what we do, this is what we cover, kind of a video of the equipment that's available. Or like Deb here, you all can't see the no and the daggers coming out, but,
Oh, I can see him,
I
yeah.
felt them.
Yeah.
Real cold all of a sudden.
but it's doing
We
but
have-
having done budget, Deb, that's her main focus every day. It's complicated, and it would be nice to do just here's the basics of government budgeting.
That'd be a short one. Camera walks in, Deb looks up, no.
That's a good one. Good one.
So, and again, it's a way that we can start broadcasting our successes and kind of inviting people in to see what we're doing with their money.
I think that's great.
Yeah, something similar like the mayor just brought up here. That's something new that we just started doing. It's been years since we did it, and we just started doing it again last year. And you did do a nice little intro on that. My eval's already been done, so.
I also included just a couple articles I found in some of the IMLs. I don't know if you have a chance to read them, but when I go through them, if I see something that applies to one of the staff or somebody, I always make a copy and throw it in their mailbox. And I thought the the public engagement was kind of cool. And then I don't have social media, but there's a good article about some Supreme Court cases on government officials and social media that, I know the mayor reads it, so he's probably already read it, but the other thing that I included, a couple of weeks ago, I sent out the TIF information, and the administrator and I were talking about some of these topics that are on agendas. You don't get the packets until the last minute, based on the timeline that we have to follow. And with the council members working full-time and having families and everything else, that it's sometimes difficult to do your own research or get through, the information. So we're going to try to be a little bit more proactive in sending the information out in advance so that you have the information in front of you. I'm not an electronic person, again, so I like hard copy. So I just made a copy of the TIF in case you wanted it in front of you, so you don't have to use your own printers and ink. Next month, or within the next couple weeks, we'll be watching for fun stuff on a balloon levy and what that entails, so that we can get some of that information out, get ahead of that a little bit, gain a better understanding on that.
Yes, because we've had growth in
Significant
community.
growth,
In order
yeah.
to capture that, we have to do a balloon levy.
And we'd like to do the levy in October of this year. If we do a balloon levy, we'll have to have a truth and taxation hearing as well, with Jeanette working with Lori and getting those documents filed. They have to be filed by the third Tuesday in December. So if we can, I think last year we knocked it out in November. If we could, usually I think in the past we've done October, November, but mostly in October.
Right, yeah, October sometime.
Yeah.
I think it's been 50-50 during my tenure.
Yeah, but I think we're in good shape, and Administrator and I already started talking about it, to hit it in October, give Jeanette and Lori a good month to get everything together and then filed. So we'll be working on that a little bit early this year, get that taken care of.
Thank
So
you.
look forward to that.
Okay.
It's exciting.
My last tidbit is, and this goes also to our growing listeners out there, there's a lot of stuff that goes into running the city. There's a lot that goes into the budgeting, public works in each of the departments, let alone on the elected side. There's a lot of rules and laws that you have to follow. This is a blanket statement I've said in previous communities. Our doors are open. If you have questions, if you have concerns, please reach out to us. This goes to elected, it goes to citizens, it goes to other staff members as well. If you have questions, we're more than happy to help people out.
Thank you. Anything else? Okay, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I don't even know if we.
I don't think you can adjourn if you make a motion.
Yeah, we can.
Oh, we
We can't even formally
So
adjourn.
we're
have to sit here all
so
night.
We're
So
not
we
really
just leave.
here, so we're just leaving.
Yeah, we're done.
Okay, we're done.
Good evening,
Okay.
everybody.
Thank you.